Okay guys, today we're going to talk about a topic that's quite difficult for some people to tackle, and that is essentially when a girl says that she's not ready. We've all been there, okay? When we feel like the vibe is going well, we think that we're gonna go into, I don't know, dating, situationship, seeing each other, even a relationship, but she says that she's not ready, or that she just needs some space. Now here's the thing, most guys in this situation will panic because it doesn't logically make sense to them, and they're gonna try and convince her otherwise. And they're gonna present a whole bunch of logical data, essentially, to show why they're compatible and why things work. Now, to some degree, this is a little bit of a sales tactic because sales are logical, but when it comes to partnerships, there's a lot more emotion that comes with it. So trying to convince her is actually the worst thing that you can do. So instead, here's how you can handle it if you were truly a high-value man. So here are the main points that we're going to be trying to cover, okay, real quick before we dive into it. We need to understand what she means when she says that she needs space, okay? Because it's not always about you. Now, there are some people out there that are going to say, she's not into you, that's why she said that she needs space, and then just move on. And to some degree, sometimes that is correct. It's sometimes just bad timing, but it's not always to do with you. A lot of the time it's because a woman is emotionally overwhelmed. We've all been in bad relationships and she might have some trauma that she needs to work through, okay? And that kind of makes her unsure about her feelings. And sometimes when it gets so overwhelming, she might just end up losing attraction. The worst response you can do to this is trying to beg or convince her, or heaven forbid that you ever over-text her, okay? It's just a terrible idea because you're going to be over-chasing and it no longer becomes fun. We need to follow something called the law of least investment. You need to stop chasing. You need to let her feel your absence. You need to just give her that space that she thinks that she needs. If you argue against it, she's going to resist more. Just go, okay, fine, I'll give you your space. But what's important is what you utilize whilst you're creating that space. Now, that space is going to give her that sort of longing for you. She's going to realize how much she wanted you. And she's going to eventually convince herself because she will end up missing you. Because women, quite naturally, are quite loyal to their emotions and their feelings. And if you've created a good feeling or emotion in the past, then she is going to be drawn to that and she is going to want that again. So you really need to just essentially stop chasing her, because women are drawn to men who are confident in their own path and to those who don't panic when they step away. Now, what do you have to do whilst you're creating that space? You need to focus on your own growth. You need to realize that she cannot be your priority. That's very difficult for a lot of guys to handle. But this is why it's so important to not just focus on one person when you're on a self-development journey. You need to focus on your own growth, and that can be in the sense of going to the gym and working on your body, which is going to release those endorphins and make you feel better and a sense of achievement. Maybe you need to focus on your career, really try and bring in that money. Maybe you focus on some hobbies so that you're mentally sound, and even work on your social life. Have you realized that some of your guy friends have been neglected? Or even go a step further, and you could actually start dating other girls or start talking to other girls, and then you'll realize that you don't need to be so invested in one person, because you'll realize that you have an abundant life as opposed to putting all your eggs in one basket. This is where your energy should go when you're trying to create that space. You need to make it a positive for you. Now, there is a paradox to this, okay? When you focus on yourself, she is way more likely to come back. It's a weird thing, but she is going to feel that energy of, oh, he doesn't need me, he just wanted me. But because he wants me, knowing full well that he can thrive without me, she's going to want to join your journey. And she wants to know that she is not the only priority in your life, that you can walk away. If you're willing to walk away, that is exactly what a high-value man will do. They don't sit around, they don't wait for validation. If she genuinely doesn't want to be with you, then just respect it and move forward. There is nothing you can do if you can't actually attract her. And that's sometimes the case, okay? You can't attract everyone, that's fine. But men who walk away are the men that hold power, okay? Regardless on whether she wants to be with you or not. Now, I'm going to tell you a personal story of mine, which had me in this exact situation, where I was dating a girl, and we had been dating for a while, okay? Like, I would say 7 months by this point. And she was definitely emotionally invested, and I was emotionally invested, but there was a point where she just said that she needed space. She was getting too emotionally overwhelmed. She was overthinking everything. It was getting to a turning point where she was thinking, what do I want out of my future? Is this the guy that I actually want to be with? Now, I could have taken that personally of, what do you mean that I'm not the guy that you want to be with? Is there somebody else that you want? Do you want to date other people? But that wasn't it. She was just getting emotionally overwhelmed, and we all have those stages where we overthink about our future. She's still a human at the end of the day. So when she said that she needed space, my immediate thought was the worry that she wants to date other people. But instead of getting overwhelmed and wrapped up in that emotional thought, I decided to take a step away and say, okay, if you need space, that's fine. But she knew that she was at risk of losing me because I decided to step away. I stepped away calmly, and in that time, I focused on working out. I spent time with my friends, and I started seeking out other options. Now, I didn't necessarily have to tell her that I was seeking out other options, but she just knew in my demeanor and my confidence that I was going to look elsewhere if she was not serious. And what was crazy is, literally after 3 days, she messaged me and said that she needed to chat. And she said that she was stupid for thinking the way that she did. She has regrets that she nearly lost me, and that she wanted to be in a serious committed relationship with me. Now, most guys usually are the ones to ask the girl out to be boyfriend and girlfriend. I made sure that she was the one to ask me out, to make me her boyfriend. Because I said to her, I'm not going to ask you. This was a decision that you wanted to go down, and I'm okay to walk away. But I'm going to give you the chance now to lock this in, and if you don't want to, that's fine. Because I know how to thrive, I know how to make the best out of my life, and I want you to come along with me, but if you don't want to do that, then that's fine. And she said, without any hesitation, that she wanted to be with me. This was after 3 days of me just completely blanking her, like not talking to her. I forcefully gave her the space. And I didn't want to be the one to initiate any conversation on checking up on her. I gave her that space so dramatically that she came running back, realizing that she was on the brink of losing me. And I want you to keep this thought in mind. Now, I will say it's very difficult to hold your ground. You will have not even just a day, like mere hours of kicking this in and wanting to message her. If you're used to talking every single day, to break that habit is so difficult. I'm not going to say that it's easy. It's not. But I'm going to tell you now that being patient is so vital. Because if you really trust the relationship that you two have, she will come back and chase after you. Because the thing is that girls are quite fickle with their thoughts. And when they choose to go down something that's quite toxic to themselves, they think that it's a good idea, and then very quickly they will have regrets. And if you really are the best option for her, she's going to know it really quickly. And she will not want to regret losing you. So trust in the space. Don't fight her. Don't argue with her. And by all means, do not beg for her attraction. You say that you are willing to walk away because you are a high-value man that knows his value. I hope this gave you some good insight, some good value. If you learned anything from it, comment, maybe give a like, subscribe. I'm going to try and give out more information in these videos because I want guys to be empowered and feel strong. But more importantly, guys, until next video, go out there and just keep on seducing.